Hello, I'm John Moeller, former White House chef, the three first families, and author of Dining at the White House. Today we are here in Lancaster, Pennsylvania at RLPS Architects Bistro, and I'm going to show you how to make an organic beef stock. Organic products are a lot easier to find these days than years ago, and the price have come down a little bit than in the past. In French, they call it stock a fond brun. The word fond means foundation. That's because a good stock is the foundation for good cooking. I have organic beef bones, and I also have a piece of the shank. You want a little bit of meat in there to give a little bit more richer flavor. We're going to take this and we're going to put it into a roasting pan, and we're going to roast it off by itself for about an hour and a half or so at 325 degrees. I find if you go to 350 or 375 degrees, that's a little too hot, and it actually burns a little bit. While that's roasting, we can get our mirepoix together, which is carrot, celery, onions. And we're going to add that to the pan at the last half hour of the cooking time. And then when you go to deglaze the pan, you're going to release some of that nice natural color and sweetness, and that's going to be part of the stock. All right, these bones have been cooking in the oven for about 2.5 hours. You can see we browned them nicely. I took some water in there. I scraped down the sides and got a little bit of colorization. We're going to transfer the bones. Okay. And we're going to make sure we scrape down all that goodness there. Get all the juices out of the pan and all the vegetables. Add it to it. We have our bones in here and our shank bone with the meat and the carrot, celery, onions, which is referred to as our mirepoix. That's all been roasting in the oven. I deglazed the pan with a little bit of water and scraped down all the excess caramelization on the pan. And the next thing we're going to do, we're going to add some herbs. We have our sprig of fresh thyme. We have some bay leaves. Sprinkle some pepper over top of it. And just a little bit of salt. Not too much, just a little bit. We're going to take water and cover the pot completely. We got about a gallon of water over top of this right now. We're going to let this come up to a boil. We're going to bring it back to a simmer, and then we're going to skim it. In the business, you make stocks every week. When I was at the White House, we made stocks practically every single week. Now we've had our beef stock simmering for about 3 hours. We're going to take the bones out. We're going to put them off on the side here. The meat off the shank there. That makes a nice little stew. That's good meat to eat. So this is a little harder to push through the strainer, so we're going to get rid of these big pieces first before we start passing it through the strainer. We just kind of let it sit for a second here as the oils and fats come up to the surface. And let's take off a little bit more of that fat. Remember, skim, skim, and skim some more here. Get some of that excess fat off of it. Now we're going to take the stock and we're going to pass it through the strainer. Okay. The purpose of a strainer is to separate the liquids from the solids. Those solids have flavor, so I like to squeeze out whatever juices I can get out of them. Now we're going to take this. We got a little bit of colorization in there. We can make a beef soup. We can make a beef stew out of this here. We can take the stock. It's always good to make a little bit extra. Divide that up after it cools down in small containers. Put it into the freezer and take it out as you need it. I'm John Moeller, former White House chef, the three first families, and author of Dining at the White House. And that was how to make an organic beef stock. Always remember, cook well and eat well.